It's the Cundy Nathan Show.
Hello and welcome to episode 12 of the Cundy Nathan Show. My name's Nathan.
My name is Cundiles.
And here we are with a jam-packed show, third in a row, about E3.
Wow, it's not like we're milking it or anything, is it?
No, we're definitely not milking it. I mean, the past three episodes have heavily leaned on E3 and all of its content, but now the show is actually live. We're recording on the Tuesday after pretty much all the shows have gone live, right?
This is Wednesday today, isn't it?
Is it Wednesday? No, it's Tuesday.
No, it's Wednesday, mate.
Is it?
It is. Maybe it's different
God.
in Dubai.
No.
In England, it's Wednesday.
All right. It's definitely Wednesday all day today. Yeah, it is Wednesday.
Yeah. I'll do that though sometimes. Sometimes I get to the weekend and I'm like, kids, quick, you got to go to school. What are you doing?
Yeah.
Like, Dad, what are you on about? It's Saturday.
Still,
like, oh, is it? Got to that age where I don't know what the week, or not age, more like kind of job.
Yeah.
You know, where it's just all the days mix in. There's no distinct.
You still send them anyway, though, yeah? You just like leave them outside the gates.
Get out from under my feet, kids. Get to school. Exactly.
Good. Well, we best dive straight in because we've got a lot to cover.
Baby.
E3 2016 has been probably the biggest in a while, I think, in terms of announcements and surprises and bigness. Yeah.
Yeah, I've just got back, from LA.
You've just got back, have you? You're looking quite tanned.
Yeah.
Just around the nose area, though. I mean, it could be that or the brandy that you've been huffing.
Yeah, Matt. Not start that again.
No, come on. No one needs.
My hands are sweating.
Right, because you're so excited about E3. So let's go. What's been your highlight and low lights so far?
Are we going straight in with high?
Straight in. Boom, boom, boom.
Well,
as the agenda says. As the agenda says.
Did you send an agenda?
Yes, I sent it this morning.
Oh, I've not seen it.
You're gonna have to load it now. Unbelievable. Shocking.
Because I thought I won't open my email, so I don't want any distractions. Just want to get on and do the podcast.
Yeah.
Focused, pure focused.
Well,
the fact that there was an agenda on there might be bad, but anyway, I can riff.
No, open it though. Open it.
Oh, for God's sake!
You need to open it. We have to be professional. Think of all those people that have contributed, those patrons that have kindly contributed dollars to us.
I know where I'm starting, definitely.
Right. They expect a certain level of service from us.
Shaftino, here you are. Podcast agenda. Got it. Highlights, lowlights. Woo! Baby! Right, okay, so I might as well start. I don't know if I would say it's a highlight or a lowlight. It's somewhere in between. It's a ho-light. A lot or a lie-light.
Right.
So, because last week I said like something I would like to see at E3 was be God of War 4, and lo and behold, almost like I had a bit of insider information, but I better not talk about that because I'm in trouble or something. I didn't have any insider information just because I've been playing it on the plane. That was all.
Yes.
So I didn't. So God of War 4 was like one of the big stories to come out of there. And I think it looked great, it looked fantastic, but I got to say, it wasn't the game I thought I was going to see for a start, and I guess that's a good thing, I think. But that's the thing, I think, because I wanted to see, I'm kind of like quite, me, mate, quite set in my ways, fear change.
Yeah.
And then it's like, what's this going on here? Where's the massive combat ripping people's heads off and loads of enemies and the fixed camera and just fully roided up Rage Man? Where's that? What's this? What's Dad doing here? I don't want any paternal. Oh, son, I wish I could put my arm around you, but I'm so enraged I can't. The conflict, the emotional drama. I wasn't sure how much I was into that. I mean, it looked amazing,
right?
But I didn't. I know when it's like, oh, you have earned some knowledge points for hunting or tracking. I was like, not what knowledge points? This isn't what I was expecting.
Do you know? Sorry, just go on. You carry on, and then I'll jump in. Go on.
I was going to say, but that's all I've seen of it, same as everyone else. So I'm going to reserve judgment until I know more about the game, because I imagine that's just going to be a section at the very, that's going to be a section at the very start of the game, I imagine. So who knows what it's going to pan out into? But my initial reaction was fear change.
Fear it.
So
I don't like it. I don't like change.
fear change. Because what I was wanting after playing it was like, well, yeah, I want this. Like, from playing the God of War, whatever it was I played, Ghost of Sparta, Swords of Athens or whatever. I wanted like that combat.
Yeah.
That kind of gutsy anger, man.
Yeah. You can call him by his name. He's called Kratos.
I think. Cheers, mate.
Yeah.
Old Ray Toss. Yeah, and when it was something else, it was like, I don't know, I'm not sure. I don't know if I need another one of these sorts of games with emotional. I just want stupid, over the top, no messing combat.
But one of the developers actually said that they had to change it, and yes, the sort of paternal side of things where he's like, resists putting his arm around his son, but is like, trying to encourage him and all the rest of it. I think it's come from the fact that this what's the lead designer called? Corey
Balrog.
Yeah, I wanted to say Balrog. Is it Balrog?
Well, Balrog's like an old. I think he is called Corey Balrog, but isn't like a Balrog? Isn't that in? Didn't Balrogs used to be in the role playing?
I'm just thinking Balrog from Street Fighter.
That's it. That's what I'm thinking.
Yeah.
What, is it?
Yeah.
Anyway, yeah, sorry.
Anyway, so he's had a child since they last made God of War. So
Balrog. Sorry.
Balrog. Yeah. So he's not Balrog, the boxer from Street Fighter.
A barlog. That's what you do when you've had too much to drink and you lose a run of yourself. a barlog. Sorry.
Anyway, so yeah, I think they needed to change the game, and his newfound dadness has reflected in the direction that God of War is going to go in. I actually thought it was a highlight. I'm still unsure of like you said, I'm still unsure of this direction of like, it feels a little bit like The Last of Us.
Yeah, there was an element of that running throughout Sony's entire show, I felt.
Yeah, there was another game as well that was a lot like The Last of Us, which was being made by Sony Bend.
Yeah, which was another game we'd spoken about, I think, the week before, which was the kind of post-apocalyptic, look at all the zombies game.
Yeah, exactly. So
we'll get on to that in a minute, because I'd like to talk about that in a minute as well.
Well,
there's just so much to talk about, Leif. I'm really excited. I just love video games.
You sound like Vernon Kay. In his infamous Ubisoft presentation. That was some shit. Do you know what? All traces of that the shame of Vernon Kay from that show, I can't find any of it online. No footage of it. Anyway.
I think it would still be there, because that was a legendary kind of, that became meme-like, didn't it?
What was it he said? I was so addicted to games.
It's so addicted to games, that's the one.
It's like,
and then just
on,
like
mate.
Yeah, silence.
Yeah, everyone's like, come on.
Good for you, mate. Nice
Vernon.
one. You've really engaged with the audience.
yes. Up your brand. So yeah, I was like looking at God of War and thinking, he'll definitely add a different angle to it. So it's not just going to be old Johnny Rage all the time, but you can see he's got it there. But what I was thinking was like, I think they're going to use the sort of Uncharted way of doing things. So like Uncharted does this sort of natural thing of having the camera locked quite close behind Nathan Drake until it needs to do the puzzle bits and the climbing bits, and it zooms out. So it gives it a bit more of a freeform camera. And I think that's what they're going to try to do with the puzzle bits and the big fights with lots of different people, because putting it into like a third person game, some of the effects were really nice, like when he threw the axe and it like stuck in that guy's head, that monster's head, and like pinned him against the wall and everything. Like some of those things were like really nice, but it's not what God of War is. And for all the things that many people hate God of War for, like one of its best traits was just being able to swing around your blades and cause mayhem amongst like 50 baddies at a time.
It does seem like a maturing of the industry as the people who make games grow older. That is very much reflected in the games that are being made, and like you say, it was directly influenced, or this guy Corey Barlog was directly affected by the birth of his child. So into making this game. So yeah, it's kind of, I don't know if that's a good thing. I don't know if it's a bad thing. I mean, it's great to have games that deal. I don't know, but there seems to be so much of it. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
It seems to be like it's such a, I'm all for games growing up, definitely, but I don't know. You've got to be careful not to lose something. Maybe just make. There was a similar issue with Resident Evil as well. People saying like the new Resi, is it? Why not just make a new game? Right? Why call it Resi Evil when it looks like it's so different? But again, that's something else to talk about. But yeah, I mean, and do you think you'll play as Kratos?
Do you know what? I thought, when it was saying like plus 15 at hunting, plus 15 at tracking, or whatever it was, I think that was for the kid.
It was all for the kid, wasn't it? Because he's like, hey, I found some tracks, Dad.
Yeah.
And it's like, oh, well done, you've gained some knowledge, plus 10 points.
Yeah, I don't think it was for Kratos. I think it was for the kid. And I mean, I don't know. Like, it's called God of War, so it's got to have Kratos in it. Like, he's invincible. Like, so he's got to be there. One angle that they could take, which they definitely won't because of the things that I've just said, is that like they could kill him off really early on, and then you play as the kid throughout.
Yeah, pass on the baton.
Yeah, and growing into the new God of War. But I think it's going to be like The Last of Us, where you're going to be the skills that the kid gets improves as you go along, and it's going to be. I think there was talk of like being an open world element to it.
Right.
Like, so where you'll travel to different areas, and then you'll come across different beasts, and with the skills that the kid acquires, you'll be able to take down bigger and badder beasties. But I mean, Kratos killed everyone, all the gods. He killed them all. So like, if it's like you need to have a certain amount of skill level, tracking level to be able to defeat this beast with your kid, it's like, what are you doing? What are you doing?
Maybe the game will be in two. Maybe you'll play sometimes because I think one of the guys working on the game said that you got to. Kratos' rage is one of them. It sounded like to me anyway. His rage would almost be like a Hulk-style rage meter, where it's something he has to control. Whether there will be
I see.
Whether that will be an actual mechanic or not, or whether it will just be something that's scripted into the game as a plot device. Because I don't know.
He did have the sort of rage meter that you used to build up and then unleash the unholy rage on whoever was in front of you. But I think probably more what you're saying there is tied into the fact that, like, having to press X to cool down, let off some steam by punching a tree or something like that.
It did sound like very kind of Hulk-like to me. I thought, that'd be good. Make it sounds a bit like a Hulk game. Maybe you'll get to play as both of them through the whole thing. Maybe there'll be a side-by-side thing. It wouldn't be the first time that you've had a smaller, more nimble kind of companion that can fit into tight spaces and things like that.
But I think I'm sort of as a parent myself, like, I just don't know if I want that in my games. Like, not all of my games.
Get enough of that in real life.
Yeah, exactly. It's the same with Ico, It's like dragging a kid around the supermarket, as I've said many a time before. I don't want that type of experience in every game that I play. And like Uncharted has put elements of that in there. I know it was only like the end part, but God of War putting it in there, it's like, really? Yeah. Really?
Well, I've got a lot of faith in Santa Monica, so
I'm sure it'll be great. I'm sure it'll be great, but it's just that on what they've shown so far, you can't really gauge like
too much for exactly. Yeah. You can't gauge a lot from it. That was like a sample, and from what it looked like, just like an opening, almost like an opening tutorial section, really, wasn't it? But yeah, I thought the orchestra sounded great as well. I thought that was a real nice touch having the orchestra there.
Yeah.
Doing the tunes. Doing the tunes.
Were they doing the tunes live at the show?
Yeah, they were.
I only watched the trailer on YouTube.
Yeah, they had an orchestra there who were doing orchestration for God of War, and they also did so. They played throughout the conference. It was quite good. I would imagine it would have been pretty amazing being there. My highlight of the Xbox conference was the bloody, like the customizable controllers.
Yeah, that was pretty cool.
Kind of like a Nike ID idea, you know. I like that. I was like, oh, I wouldn't mind a little controller with me little name on it and that. Ooh.
Yeah.
But to say that's a highlight, I thought there was nothing there that really grabbed me in the Microsoft one. I must admit. I thought Gears of War. Was Gears of War always that hammy? The voice acting was it was awful, and I noticed this in a lot of the demos. Because the narration that goes along, they were like, oh, what are you doing now? I need to go over here, and oh, look, I can see a weak spot. And I noticed that in a lot of the games, like the character is constantly talking to themselves or their companions or whoever's around about what's happening on screen. And it's like, I think it was in Horizon where she was like crafting something, and it was like, oh, 2 health packs coming right up or something like that. It's like, I don't need everything to be fucking voiced. I don't need the game to tell me what I know is already happening, or I need to be over there because that's where I need to go for this objective. And that's part of the game, surely, is to work all that shit out. It just seems like a really lazy way of signposting stuff, just having the game tell you how to do it. And Gears of War, I just thought seemed awful for that. Yeah. And it just was, I don't know. I don't know if anyone's picked up on it, because I've not been on the internet since then, but I just thought the voice acting was crappy,
hammy,
big time. Real hammy, like real bad.
Was that a low light then? Is that your low light?
Yeah. I mean, I wanted to see more of the inside thing, the thing from the Limbo developers, and they just. I thought the indie games seemed to take a real backseat. I thought this E3 as well. They just all like got montaged up in a quick set. I think that's fine. No, but a lot of the most interesting games I thought often come out of those sections. Yeah. But they seem to like, you know, kind of box them down into like nice compact 5-minute bits, but highlight showreel thing. But I really wanted to see more from the Limbo guys, and I think it got a. Oh, yeah, just out June 29th, they said. So it's out soon, but I didn't see hardly anything new of it at all, really. There's like a very, very short, another little snippet of kind of trailer footage, but other than that, and some man's assuring us that it's one of the best games he's ever played. But I'll be the judge of that, Mr. Man on stage. Yeah. Exactly.
I know we've split. We tried to split the highlights, lowlights and biggest surprises as well, but I'm just going to meld them all together for this section.
Just merge it in, mate.
I'm just doing it. So one of the biggest surprises for me was the was it called We the Happy Few, or the Happy Few?
We Happy Few.
Yeah.
The thing that looked a lot like BioShock.
The thing that looked a hell of a lot like BioShock. The thing that looked so much like BioShock that I went online to look at who the developer was, because I was convinced it was Ken Levine's new studio.
But it wasn't.
But it wasn't. No. For people that sort of missed it, because did they show it at one of the conferences? I didn't watch the conferences. I only watched the trailers on YouTube. So
it was they showed it at the Microsoft conference. Right. And they spent quite a lot of time on it.
Okay. So for those that didn't see it, it looks like it's underground dwellings, a little bit like BioShock. Basically, they're all kept in a very claustrophobic sort of setting, which looks like it's underground. They've got like
kind of like got a 1950s vibe as well.
Yeah, like a Fallout style. Like you're not allowed out of this vault, you're not allowed out of this place. And there's like sort of like they wear like clown makeup, which is all like to make them happy. Is it clown makeup, or is there another word for it?
I don't know whether they're masks or makeup. Yeah. One of the two. And they're all taking these pills called Joy, aren't they?
Yeah, Joy pills. And like there's a guy that's like it's English accents as well, isn't it?
Yeah.
So and they're like trying to. He doesn't want to take his pills, but when he doesn't take his pills, it's all around. He gets to see what is really happening all around him. So it's like, take your joy pills and then enjoy everything. And I thought it was brilliant. Like the setting and the sort of the the surroundings and just the way that it felt like really claustrophobic and really sort of like intense. It just reminded me of BioShock, like a fantastic BioShock. I can't remember what the word would be, but anyway, it was when he didn't take the pills and he was walking around and then he was like hitting that piñata and it turned into a big rat. It was like, I'm into this game. It looks pretty. it looks pretty cool.
It reminded me a bit of They Live as well. Remember the old film, I think it's John Carpenter, isn't it? Old John Carpenter film where if you wear the special glasses, you can see what life is like and what life is really like, and there's all robots walking around us and stuff.
Right, okay.
It reminded me a little bit of that, where it's revealed what life is, actually what's actually happening in life.
It was nice to have a surprising game like that though, because I feel like there was a lot of driving and shooting games. We had a few. Look good.
It's weird that left me. I think for me it looked so much like BioShock, which I'm not massively into. I'll admit. I played the first one, which I kind of enjoyed.
Yeah.
And I never got round to playing. What was the one in the clouds? Infinite. Mm-hmm. Infundibulum. BioShock Infundibulum.
Infundibulum. Yeah.
Never got round to playing that, and yeah, I don't know that even the Happy Few left me feeling like I'm never going to play that.
Really? That's weird, because come on, mate. What the hell are you doing? What are you doing, dirty cat? His head's gone.
Oh, it's the Cundy Nathan Show!
Let's have our highlights then. Let's carry on with the highlights.
Right, okay, so I'm going to go with another one from the Sony conference, which was the Resident Evil, Resident Evil 7, I suppose it would be.
Yeah. That's in my low lights column.
Which, well, you don't really like. I mean, this would be even worse for you because it's gone fully like jumpy scare style. So you haven't tried the demo that's out or anything?
Don't be daft, mate. Come on. Don't play games like that.
They did a full, very much. I mean, it can't have been any mistake, I'm sure, or coincidence that they released a demo very much in the similar style to the PT one that Konami put out. And it's good. I really like the demo. I mean, it's when they was playing it, I didn't realise it was like a resi until they pick up an item and then it came like a video cassette came on the screen. I was like, oh, that's very much in the style of what it used to how it used to look on Resident Evil, and lo and behold it was. And the demo's pretty good. I enjoyed the demo. There's more to it than you first think.
Is it set like Resi 4? So like I don't count Resi 5 or 6. Is it set like Resi 4? So it's like the over the shoulder camera, like
no, it's first person.
What?
It's first person. It's going to be a VR. It's going to be a VR title, isn't it?
I'm out, mate.
So
no,
it's going to be fully playable in VR.
No.
And it's first person. So imagine you played Outlast, didn't you?
No. Come on.
So
I've only got a certain amount of underwear.
Yeah. So do you want me to describe what the demo is like? Because apparently they've said what's in the demo isn't going to be in the game. I might have got that bit wrong.
Or it might not be a game at all, as is what happened with PT.
So in the game, you're playing a cameraman, and you're like you're doing the camera work for these two guys doing like a ghost show. You know, when they go around haunted houses and things like that.
Ah, right.
So they just break it into their next place that they're going to do their show from, and it's like I think it's going to be in deep South America somewhere.
Yeah.
And it's just like an abandoned farmhouse, so it's all like proper creepy inside. You can paint your own picture, and as you go in, one of the guys goes missing, and then you kind of have to you're looking through the camera and everything. You have to find where he is and stuff, and then it all goes kind of tits up. But it's good, but you can.
No, tell me how it goes tits up.
Right, hang on a minute. I've got it a bit wrong because you start the game differently. You've already been captured,
right?
So you're in like a creepy bit, and then you kind of flash back. And then you wake up in the house and you find the videotape and you put the videotape in and it's of you and you play through the videotapes.
Ah, right, okay.
Play through the videotape section, and there are different things you can do. I think you can find things in the videotape section that then you can use, because I think there's a lockpick that you can use. Only small things. It's not massively complex, that you can then use in the non-videotape section. But it's pretty cool. I mean, I played through I played through it because you have to escape the farmhouse. That's the idea of it. And I played through it. It only takes like 10 minutes, if that.
Yeah.
If you play through it once. And I found an item, and I was like, oh, I wonder what that's for. It's like a finger or something, like a dummy, like a mannequin finger. And so I went online to have a look, and it's deeper than you think it is at first. Like there's areas of the game where you can certain things happen, like spooky things happen, and there's like a secret staircase you can find. It's got multiple endings to the demo. But I was into it. I liked it. Again, not a great deal like Resident Evil, and I can kind of see why people fear change. But maybe they should have called it something else. Maybe they were right to call it Resident Evil to make a bit more interest about it. But there's a you find a picture of a helicopter, and it seems to have like the Umbrella logo on the side. So it's whether it's still going to be. They've said they're going to have a completely new character because they felt the existing ones were all a bit too much like superheroes.
Right.
They all had, they're all a bit crazy, and there's not going to be many weapons in it. I think in the demo you can find an axe, but you don't really get to use it on anyone or anything. I think you smash some boxes up. But yeah, it's certainly, again, a bit like God of War 4, it's going in a different direction, and I'm just going to wait, anticipate that that direction may be good. Good change.
I'm definitely out.
It is proper creepy, and there's a bit that's a bit like Blair Witchy, and it reminded me of the Texas Chainsaw Massacre. Looked like an influence, because you're in this creepy farmhouse and there's a mention of a family, and it's just got that kind of weird creepiness, which I find more creepy than supernatural stuff. I find like Texas Chainsaw Massacre, Wolf Creek, those sort of horror films, they're the ones that freak me out. Like supernatural stuff, I can kind of put that in a way in the old very unlikely bit in my compartmentalising my brain. Unlikely to ever happen, whereas creepy real life stuff I find far worse.
So how did you feel about Kojima and Norman Reedus' Death Stranding?
Did you? Oh, because you missed the. If you didn't see the conference, they had Kojima come out like some fucking descending from the stairway of heaven.
No, did they?
He came. Oh, it was brilliant. It was probably one of the highlights of the show. He came down like these stairs, and as he came down, on each step, like it lit up and stuff.
Oh, it was like the what's it called? Like the paving slabs in Beat It. Was it Beat It? Not Beat It. Was it Billie Jean? Billie Jean.
Very, very, very possibly. But I mean, they so bigged him up. Like, hooray, we've got him. And the game, what is going on there? I have no idea what's happening.
Idea.
Kojima for me, he's not my thing. I can see, I like that there's a developer like that making games. I think that's healthy for the industry, and I think for now it's super healthy for Sony, isn't it? But what that game's going to be about? What's it called? Death Stranding.
Death Stranding, yeah.
The old oil baby,
dead fish. Dead fish. I mean, what are you supposed to get from that trailer? Like, what is it telling you? There's basically no game elements in it at all.
You couldn't say whether you thought it was going. The only reason you would say I'm looking forward to it is because it's got because Kojima's doing it.
Yeah.
And it's got that guy in who I didn't know who he was. I had to look it up.
Oh, really?
Seen The Walking Dead.
Okay. Yeah.
So.
Well, he was the lead character in PT, right?
What, Norman Reedus?
Yeah.
Was he? Oh, I didn't know that.
Yeah, so that's how they were like best mates.
Because afterwards he put out a picture on Norman Reedus guy put out a picture on Instagram of Kojima having a little cup of Konami tears.
Yeah, I saw that.
So I like all of that. I like all that sideshow stuff that's going on. It makes it quite interesting. It's entertaining, isn't it?
It does, mate. I'm into that. I quite liked Steep as well. Did you see that?
Oh.
It's a Ubisoft sort of how best to describe it. It's basically set in the Alps,
right?
And it's got like wingsuits in it, skiing, snowboarding. There's a tie-in with GoPro as well, so like all of the sort of like the characters that you have got like GoPro cameras on, so you can play it from that angle as well.
Like shaky first-person cam.
And like you can set trails. It's like it's all linked to I think it's all linked to like a big database, so people can I'm sure this is where it will go, but people can rate your trail that you've created, and
right,
like,
okay.
you can rewind it, and you can do like basically like what you would do with GoPro. You can go back and do like lots of video editing and show like your different tricks and things like that. And it looks like, I don't know, it will live and die on how it actually plays. But it looks really promising. It looks like SSX, but like a serious style SSX.
More funked up.
Yeah, and it was they've managed to use satellite imagery to sort of like 3D map the whole of the Alps, and you can just zip between different areas and set different challenges, and glide down it in a wingsuit, or get on your skis and do like tricks over things, and it looked great. I thought it looked really good and really promising.
Was that an EA one? Did you say?
No, it's Ubisoft.
Ubisoft. I'll write that down immediately.
Yeah, they've dipped their toes into snowboarding before with Shaun White's crapola snowboarding. So I'm just hoping that it's nothing like that. As I say, it lives or dies by how the mechanics work, and it needs to nail that for it to be a good thing. But it showed a lot of promise, and it was nice. It was a nice little surprise as well.
Yeah, edgy youth. Is it Watch Dogs? Is that Ubisoft?
It is, yeah.
Yeah, like that. Oh, the more I see of that, it's just
they had Run the Jewels on the trailer though, so that made me more inclined to want to play it.
It's so try hard. It really is. It's just like, I don't know. I just still think of that Steve Buscemi thing when everyone rolls out.
Hey kids.
Hello fellow youth, or whatever he says. It's all just like, oh god, it's just cringy. And I'm an old man.
Yeah.
Let alone what the kids must think. Maybe that's what kids are into. Maybe I'm out of the loop.
Maybe Watch Dogs just isn't for you.
It's definitely not for me. I'm not playing that again.
No, the first one was really joyless. Yeah. The second one looks like it's going to be more fun. I'm gonna play it. I'm definitely going to play it.
I don't want to play games that are fun.
Well, what?
I want to play games that are emotionally challenging.
Were there any surprises for you? Oh, sorry. Speaking of Ubisoft, as we're talking about their games, they dropped a little surprise by launching Trials Blood Dragon, or the Trials of Blood Dragon.
Yeah, I saw. I saw it on the store, on the PlayStation Store, and apparently it's not very good. I read something on Eurogamer and they said it's not very good. Right,
good. Well, there we go then. I won't be playing that, but it was nice because we was talking last week about we wanted something to be announced and then released on the same day. So they did that, and they did that with the Resi 7 thing as well. So yeah, it was quite a decent thing, and I like Trials, but I don't know. I didn't love Blood Dragon. I enjoyed
Blood Dragon. Yeah, I liked it.
I
liked
it 'cause it's like the contrary. Oh, look at me! I liked it. I like fun now.
It was a short version of Far Cry, so it just meant I could finish a Far Cry without having to spend 20,000 years on it. Have you? There's a Star Wars Lego demo out as well.
Oh yeah.
On the odd store, of the new film. I don't know if you're interested in it. I'm sick of Stop Legoising everything, for fuck's sake. It's annoying me now.
That's how Traveller's Tales make their money, though.
It's such a lazy way of making film tie-ins, isn't it? Oh, and it's just all the same shit all the time. Shoot some stuff. I still don't know how.
He's furious. He's took his shirt off.
Over Lego Star Wars.
Stripped to the waist.
Objectives. How they've been making those games for so long and they still cannot fucking do game design properly. I do not know.
Kids love them, man.
It's so unclear what you're meant to do or how you're meant to achieve it. It's like, what? I don't want to be.
He's spitting. He can't even get his words out. He's so angry.
But stop Legoising everything, for fuck's sake. I'm sick of it. And all the they've just taken all the audio clips from the movie as well. So I'd preferred, again, just because it's easier than them having to put any fucking character into the game.
Yeah.
I like the Star Wars games when they didn't do any of the talking and it was all,
Yeah, I know what you mean. When they was mute and it was all based on facial expressions and stuff, like a silent movie.
exactly like that. But it's just, I don't know. They just lost it. They're just like, oh, what film are we doing now? Oh yeah, bang this one out before lunch.
It does feel
feels like that.
It does feel cookie cutter. It's quite a cute animation where they're sort of like building things, but once you've seen it once or twice, you've seen it a million times.
They've got lazy with it. They've just got lazy with it now. It's just like, oh, just fucking turn it into Lego and people will lap it up. Well, you know what? I'm not lapping it up anymore. I'm spitting it out.
They've already done. Why would you even put it in your mouth in the first place if you're going to spit it out?
Joking hazard.
So they've already done a Star Wars before though, haven't they? So I wonder if they've just reused elements of that to make this one.
They've done the original Star Wars trilogy. They've done the fucking other trilogy. Now they're having a bang on this one. Sick of it, mate.
I do remember
just phoning it in, just churning it out now.
I can pinpoint the exact moment that I was like, I'm done with Lego games, because my missus quite likes them, and it was something that we could both play together. But we was playing Lego Indiana Jones, and there was a point in it where there was just no arrow telling you where to go. And we was wandering around for ages, just couldn't find how to get out of this specific place. There was just no indication of it at all. And and she went, like my missus just went like, oh, I'm just gonna, do you want a tea or anything? It's like that's that's her polite way of just like going, fuck this. So just switched it off and that was it, done.
I had the same thing with Lego Pirates of the Caribbean. Played that with the kids. Didn't mind it. Yeah. But I was on Game Facts.
It's gone wrong.
The Cundy.
It's gone wrong.
Games Facts to find out how to complete a fucking Lego game.
It's gone wrong.
Anyway, stop Legoising everything. That's my message here now. Kids.
I know we're still talking about E3, but you just came up on a point there, which I found myself doing quite a lot recently. When you're saying like using Game Facts. I find I've been playing Metal Gear. I've finished it, and I've finished the rest of the story. I've done all the missions now. But I find myself like, as soon as it gets to a bit, it's like, oh, I've died like once. It's like straight away on my phone, looking up how to do this mission, how to do that mission. And then I'll watch it on YouTube, and then I'll just copy it and just do it like that. And it's like, what am I doing? What am I doing? Am I enjoying games anymore? Or am I just going through the motions?
Just time poor, isn't it? So you just got to, But I'll tell you what is good. I just last to finish on this little bit that we're doing here. Yeah, rambling. Hang on to make a note of something.
Oh no, there was more games that I wanted to talk about though. Go on.
Oh yeah. I was just going to. But before we get back to E3, because the kids have been playing. Nell has just finished Uncharted. And I know she shouldn't really be playing it, but
whoa. Hello, police. Hello. Mistreated child. Yes, I'd like to report one.
But she went through on Explorer mode, which is kind of ignores it, just so you focus on the story and stuff. And like Nathan Drake's like a bullet sponge. He takes his hit points are incredible. All the enemies die if you just look at them.
Yeah.
But I thought that was quite it made it. I was quite impressed. She finished it, to be honest. And I helped her maybe, I don't know, twice maybe. Yeah. The old Games Master Dana to step in. But Addie's, my other kids just started it as well now. She's starting it, so that's getting your money's worth, isn't it? 3 members of the family playing it. They shouldn't be playing it. Is it an 18?
It's a 15, I think, isn't it?
Thanks. Cheers, mate. PG, I think. It's fine. This has got,
Tell that to the courts, mate. While we're saying that, hang on, while we're saying that, I do feel like now that I've completed pretty much everything in MGS, and I've done the stupid, nonsensical story, it feels like the game has opened up into something that's more exciting now, because I've unlocked the unlimited bullets, the unlimited ammunition headband, the best armor, the parasite suit, and like all these other things that make the game like all the things that you weren't doing at the first part of the game, like killing people. Like you've got this like huge armory of like killing machines now for like blowing up the helicopters and taking down like the jeeps and the trucks and the tanks and all the rest of it. It's just made the game more fun.
Yeah. Should it have been unlocked from the start, all that stuff? Is that what you're saying?
Yeah.
Should you have had to put the hours in?
But I feel like I'm getting more out of it now.
That's good.
Yeah. And I've only just realised they launched weekly challenges every week. So it's like
I like stuff like that.
So it's like complete this mission in this specific way, and then get X amount of money to build up your base and things like that. So it's working out. Yeah, I don't think you can. I don't think you can get a better zoo. I need to start getting more into that, because I only collect the animals if they're along my path. I got a wild cashmere goat earlier. If that's an actual thing, or is it a cashmere sheep? I don't know. Either way, I found one of those and
did you skin it?
Airlifted it. No, you don't skin them. Come on, you take them back to Mother Base, which is essentially just a giant prison. It's just a huge prison. It's like Guantanamo Bay.
That's what zoos are, isn't it? Just
no, but I mean prisons. For the people as well.
Ah, right, okay. Well, I suppose if you, that's, I don't know. I was sad about the deer. They had to kill the deer in that God of War thing. Come on, deers are the new chickens. Seems to be lots of deer killing going on in games now.
It was more like a moose. It was massive. It was fucking huge. I know it's like
stag. When it was saying, was it a stag?
It looked like it was bigger than like a 4-story building.
Well, it could have been some mythical stag, which makes it even sadder, like some spirit of the forest or something they destroyed.
Get off your soapbox, mate. Come on. Get back down here.
Hideo Kojima thing.
Yes.
Reason I'm looking forward to Death Stranding is because it's not Metal Gear, which I felt like I couldn't return to that series. So I'm looking forward to playing something.
This Metal Gear
I was looking forward to, but I'm looking forward to Death Stranding because I can finally get around to playing something that old Kojiballs has made.
Let me just say, this Metal Gear was different to the other Metal Gears. Like, it was probably the biggest departure from the Metal Gear series that we've seen, and I think it's more entertaining for that. It's like, it's very sort of like, it's sectioned up, so you don't play continuously through and then get to a bit and like you mess up, and then it's like, oh, I've got to start everything all over again. There's like there's checkpoints, there's like specific missions that you do in like this open world, and you can choose to do it however you want. And I feel like that's the biggest sort of bonus for like sort of lapsed Metal Gear fans or people that have played Metal Gear before. It's the biggest attraction. So yeah, I suggest you get back into it. Oh, another thing, not about it. This is about E3.
Good.
Another highlight. Ooh. Insomniac making a Spider-Man game.
Spider-Man, he got web coming out of his goddamn hand.
That's the new theme tune for him.
That's the new jazz jingle for Spider-Man.
Yeah. It looked like Spider-Man, but I'm interested to see what Insomniac can do about it. Oh, he's not an Insomniac.
Good one. Hey. Insomniac. Yeah, I heard something that Insomniac aren't that involved with the game. Again, read the headline, didn't bother clicking through because not that interested.
That's just life, isn't it? That's life now. Everyone does that.
Life. Yeah, so I don't know. It looks a lot like Spider-Man on the PS2 to me.
I think the bigger thing for me, it looks great, and I think it'll be a decent game. I'm glad that Insomniac are back working with Sony. It feels like their sort of rightful home to work with them. They went out and tried to work with EA, didn't they? I'm not bothered about Sunset Overdrive. Like, I'd never even played it, but I heard it wasn't very good. But I think when they went off on their own, like trying to work with EA, they did that. What was it called? Overdrive, Overload, Overkill. Overkill. Yeah, it changed from like the Incredibles to an Incredibles game to like the worst game ever, the most sterile shit army game that you could possibly ask for.
It's weird.
But now they're back with Sony, it feels like they've got like a bit more fun. I'd love to see another Resistance.
Fun games. Fun. Friends.
Hello, fun game. I love you, fun game.
Did you watch any of the VR stuff that PlayStation...
Not interested, mate.
Not interested? No, I wasn't really, but there was one... Farpoint was probably the one I thought looked...
Is that the one that's based... Oh, come on, mate. Stop this. What's up with you? Windy Miller. Was that the one that was like No Man's Land?
Sci-fi
No Man's Sky.
Yeah.
Not No Man's Land.
No Man's Game.
Yeah.
That's the one. It's kind of like a sci-fi exploration thing. I thought that looked alright. I like stuff like that. You know what I'm like, mate.
Oh yeah, into all of those niche.
But yeah,
games.
that's that then. That's. I mean, they didn't spend as long on VR as I thought. for $400. Woo, baby.
No, I'm not paying for that.
And what about the David Cage?
Andy Kelly on Twitter came up with a very important fact about David Cage games. All of his games involve SWAT teams. Like, what is it about SWAT teams that gets him all tingly in the groin area?
Guns, probably, innit?
But specifically SWAT teams all the time. But
this one was weird because it was like a complete. I don't quite know how the goes. Oh shit! Come on, hang on.
Scat up, beat up.
I don't quite know how the game's going to go because the last bit we saw of it, you were playing as because they're all like robots and they're all like sad robots because
cyborgs.
We want to be
mate.
Human cyborg androids. It's all the Blade Runner type thing happening.
Yeah. I'm a real man.
The last one was the woman, wasn't it?
Yeah.
And she was
market research suggests that kids don't want to play with the woman.
And she at the end of her bit it said this is our story or my story or something like that. And at the end of this one you play as the guy. So I don't know if you're just going to be playing as loads of different people, which wouldn't be the first time that's happened as a David Cage game. But I'll play it. I seem to like David Cage a lot more than most people because most people just seem to think he's a fucking joke.
I think he promises a lot and delivers like maybe half of what he says.
Right.
So right. I think that's what the biggest complaint is. Like Heavy Rain was supposed to be this sort of like earth shattering, this is how games should be type of thing experience, and it was proper ropey in terms of an actual game. even as an interactive experience, like even the story wasn't that great.
No,
it was full of plot holes.
Yeah, I really enjoyed it. Yeah, I can look past plot holes. I mean, there's so much media I kind of give it the old. I won't focus too much on that because I like the thing.
Yeah.
So I'm happy to kind of overlook and ignore some bits. And I think I didn't enjoy what was this other one, Beyond Two Souls, as much as I did Heavy Rain, but I still played it all the way through. And I quite like playing one of those types of games. Every 3-4 years. That's not too much for me to do. So I'm quite looking forward to Detroit Become Human, and I like it. It really reminded me of how you could change the outcome of stuff. Really seemed to hint at. There was a French game. Oh no, what was it called? Here we go. Come on, Cundy.
Yeah. This is a big one. Cundy's having to use his memory.
Well, it is all about memories. You access people's memories and you can change their memory of things.
Was it the one by Don't Nod? The Capcom game.
It could have been Capcom.
Yeah, I remember. I know which one you're talking about. But
it was like a similar thing. You could go in and you could change the memories. You could change the outcome of what happens in the memory, so the person remembers it differently. And it reminded me a little bit of that for whatever reason. So I'll play it. I'll give Cage the old benefit of I'll throw him a few notes.
Remember me.
Remember me, that the one who had you, baby.
That was the one, yeah?
Yeah, that's it. That's it. Remember me. Well done, mate. That's good. It's amazing that you got such quick access to the internet.
Oh, hey. No need for long-term memory anymore, or short-term, indeed.
Don't need it. Forget it. What's next? You're up next, mate, because I just did Detroit Become Human.
I'm just trying to think. How did you feel about the Dishonored 2? I never really got into the first game, but the second one...
Nah.
It has that... I don't know.
Nah.
I don't know. I don't know what it is about it. It never grabs me.
I played it for like the first couple of hours and I was just like, you know what, this isn't for me. I'm out. See you later. Bye. And so the second one has it happens into you kind of time shift in it, which I guess is kind of interesting. And you do things and there's people in it, and I like the art style's nice, but that's not enough for me now.
Would you say that Bethesda sort of like surpassing the likes of Activision at the moment? Not in terms of sales, but in terms of sort of the games that they're putting out there.
Output. What else did Activision have? Refresh my memory, please, Internet man.
Skylanders and Call of Duty were their two big ones.
There was a little feature in Skylanders I quite like the look of, actually. It was where you could draw your own.
In it.
draw your own Skylander.
Yeah.
So you had something to draw with, I don't know, like a pen or something.
Compass.
And then, I don't quite know how it worked.
Was it a compass? You just scratch it straight onto your LCD screen?
Scratch it straight onto your arm and then pour ink into it.
Yeah. And
then it appears on screen. I quite like that. It's cheaper than fucking them stupid toys.
Yeah. It'll have its limitations, though. Because otherwise artists would be able to just draw like a Spider-Man. And then you'd never have to buy one. Yeah,
just want to see loads of knob monsters.
I mean, what you get up to on your weekends is up to you, mate. But just keep it off the podcast.
Want to see I want to go somewhere where there's a load of knob monsters.
Good lord.
So, what? And who else? What did you send? Who had a better output? What are you talking about?
As a company...
Bethesda, yeah. What else they got? So they got Dishonored.
They've got that Prey 2 that's coming out. Or the new Prey.
Yeah. Oh, again. What happened to Prey? Because wasn't Prey 2 meant to be like a mercenary bounty hunter game? Looks really interesting. That's binned.
It's now just Prey, isn't it?
Because we pray. Pray.
Oh,
pray,
yeah, we pray.
We gotta pray just to make it today. Good message.
MC Hammer.
Apparently, I was watching the Vigot News View the other day, and apparently MC Hammer was on the Odd One Out round.
Yeah.
And apparently he said he's scared of hammers.
Come on.
He's got a phobia of hammers because he's scared of hitting
Hang
himself.
on, wait. So is he like Batman? He calls himself something that he's petrified of to motivate him.
Is Batman scared of bats, is he?
Yeah.
What's up with him? What's he doing in a bat thing then?
Well, he's scared shitless, but it motivates him to be strong. Because it scares him. He knows that by being a bat, it will scare other people. So, like, is MC Hammer called Hammer so he can scare other people into thinking that he's like a blunt object?
So is Joker scared of clowns? That makes more sense.
No.
But Batman is scared of bat. Well, Penguin is scared
Have you never
of penguin.
seen the films? And he's like, he's petrified. The Christopher Nolan ones, when he's like, he's scared shitless because he's fallen down that well. I've fallen down a well.
Down the bat well.
Down the bat well. And then the bats all fly at him, and he's like, like looking round.
He's Batman. How can he like king of bats?
He's as a kid.
Oh, like so you're talking like Indiana Jones, like he's being Snake Man or something like that because he's scared of snakes. Snakes, why do they have to be snakes?
Yeah, something like that. I'm not entirely sure where this is going.
There's a massive plot hole, isn't it? Batman, he's scared of bats.
No, it all makes sense. It does if you read the comics as well. It does. He's the thing that causes him the most fear. To strike fear into other people.
What is he, like a woman scared it's going to go into his hair? What's up with him?
Yeah, exactly.
He's got his cowl on. It's not going to do him. Bats are harmless. Fucking twat.
I don't think he's scared.
I
don't. Oh, come on.
Twat man, more like it.
I don't think he's scared of bats now. I think he's
he's been to therapy or something, is he? He's got something wrong. He needs to sit down with someone on the couch.
He does. Anyway. Anyway, do you think that this positions Bethesda to be like, like a rival towards like Activision and stuff? Because they didn't have much of a presence there.
Bethesda. They had a screaming woman at their conference, Bethesda.
Yeah, that's not what I'm asking though, is it? Like specifically, I'm asking you a question about
Bethesda
where positions them.
They've had
Fallout as well.
Yeah, they've
Skyrim.
had big output. Exactly, mate. They're up there. They're up there, mate. They're Premier League.
Skyrim HD.
They're Champions League.
They are Champions League. Well, someone made an interesting point. I can't remember who it was, but someone that I follow on Twitter mentioned that it seems like Bethesda, with this presentation, seems to be positioning themselves to be bought out like by a big company, and suggested that Take-Two might take a punt on them.
Ooh.
So
that's pretty good. Skyrim does good business, doesn't it? Jesus.
Yeah.
A few big hitters that would like that in their portfolio. Well. Who?
Fallout.
Yeah, I don't like Fallout, mate.
Yeah, well, it's not about you, is it?
I don't really like Skyrim either, to be honest.
Well, there you go. What are you talking about?
Oblivion put me off.
Oblivion.
I ain't got time.
No.
I ain't got time for
that.
Got
time to bleed.
Do we need to have
anyway,
another break
have we got?
Before we can talk?
Well, have you got any more surprises? Have you got other games that you want to talk about? Because if we haven't, we'll just move on.
Yeah. I've got a few to talk about here. Yeah.
All right, let's have a break. Let's have a little break. Bit of a breather. Man, how long have we done? Oh, I've been going for an hour and 10 minutes, mate.
It's fine. It's fine. This is best. Or just right. We on? We rolling. Right, we're rolling. So, Days Gone. This new zombie thing, like a zombie swarm.
What are you talking about? What's going on here?
The new
Hello?
Days Gone. They made quite a lot of it at the Sony conference. The zombie thing on bikes.
The Last of Us.
The Last of Us on bikes.
DLC. Yeah, I saw that. Yeah.
Last of Us Hell's Angels edition. I didn't mind it was too much like The Last of Us. It could have been set in the Last of Us universe.
Do you not think that, like, and I know this is like a massive stretch, but do you not think that this started off as a, like, because Sony Bend usually do PS Vita games, don't they?
They did Siphon Filter and all that, didn't they?
Yeah. So, do you not think that this was supposed to be like an extension of The Last of Us on Vita? But since Vita like died on its arse, they turned it into a bigger thing. But they're just not using the name.
Yeah, mate. Well, it was called.
It's Last of Us.
It was called something else. It was called
Last of Us.
It was called The Dead
Last
Don't
of
Ride
Us.
or something. It was called The Dead Don't Ride.
Last of
Yeah, I'm sure it's called. They did Bubsy as well. The classic.
Oh,
but the amount of zombies it just looked like a tech demo.
Mm.
I didn't like the amount of zombies. I was like, there's too many of them.
Yeah.
I didn't like it. It didn't look right. It looked really weird. Upset me.
Did it?
Were you upset?
I wasn't upset, no. I was just watching it and going, oh, this looks quite good. So when is it going to say that it's The Last of Us? Because even one of the compounds that they were based in, I seem to remember you travelled to that. Is it his brother in The Last of Us? You end up like going to like this power station out in the middle of the woods.
Yeah.
Like for like.
Yeah, reminded me a bit of Alan Wake as well. Alan Wake kind of setting, Alan Wake 2 or whatever it was. I
don't know what that is. I don't play that game.
But yeah, so I don't know about that. I was a bit, kind of interested, and then I didn't really like the bike angle, and then I thought the narrative was fucking shit as well, to be honest. So forget it. I talk about shit narrative. That Horizon game, Zero Dawn. I quite like the.
You've really got it in for this game.
The dialogue in it is awful. It's just terrible. It's just so. It's just. I don't know. It's like they've just not bothered. It's just like they haven't bothered. It was just so cheesy.
Guerrilla were never good with that with Killzone either.
It was just I'd rather they just didn't speak like proper cave people. Like proper cave people don't speak. They're like, oh, I do not understand. This was beyond my understanding.
Right.
What are you talking about? They got all this technology right there. What do you mean you don't understand? It's like some robot corrupting the other robots or something. Talking about, you fucking pricks.
You're really not happy about this game, are you?
I quite enjoyed the bit where she had to take down this corrupt robot animal, Zoidberg. What do we call this?
Zoidberg.
Zoids. This big Robozoid thing that she had to take down.
Yeah.
I quite enjoyed that. She had to tether it, and then she went in, and I didn't think that looked too bad, but mother of pearl. They got that concept out. They gone wrong. They gone too far. They've been on the.
It's just not for you. That's the thing. It's just not for you.
I don't know who's it for.
Well, not for you, clearly.
It's just I don't know. They've all got stupid technology, yet they're all meant to be living in the past. Like they haven't got like clubs, like massive. They're not just throwing stone. That would be more interesting if it was actual cavemen times and they'd been infiltrated by. A bit like the start of what's it called? What's that film? The Stanley Kubrick film with the monkeys at the start and the obelisk and all that. They throw the bone in the air. They throw the bone in the air and it turns into.
You're right, mate. Are you all right?
I've got it up on my shelf.
Are you all right?
I can't. What's it called?
I don't know, mate. Can we just move on? You're scaring me. I'm worried about you.
Hang on a minute.
No. Keep going.
It's got bloody. I'm sorry, Dave. That would have been a more interesting concept if they were actually like monkeys and they had fucking bones hammering the shit out of
12 monkeys?
hammering the shit out of these stupid robot creatures that come and you just smash them up with bones and like going like stupidly overexcited about it. Rather than, hush, my quiet one. The elders have been here and left clues to their past. I must discover more.
You're really not into it, are you?
2001: A Space Odyssey. Just seen it on the shelf. Thank God
Yes.
for that. Losing my mind. So, and Last Guardian put in a very brief appearance, didn't it? With a release date. Oh yeah.
Yeah.
October 25th.
When they did that, yeah, I was like, I don't know. It felt like. I don't know. It felt like that. After what you'd said last week about reading that Edge article about it not looking great.
Yeah.
I was like, have they changed the art style of the lead character as well? No. I didn't know he was like cel shaded.
Yeah, he's always had that kind of look about him. I wonder if they've had it. What? I wonder if they've had any hands on with it at E3 2016. I'm just looking now because I got a feeling it's not going to be on the show floor.
Ooh, why? Because it's Chateau.
Because they're for.
Got to fill
Do you know what? I'm not seeing a lot of E3 hands-ons of it at all. The top one, if I type in Last Guardian hands-on E3 2016, the top story is something talking about the Edge hands-on preview. So there can't be anyone playing it at E3, which to me is slightly worrying. And they did seem to skim over what is got to be one of their biggest games.
Well,
they gave more time to that bloody Days Gone.
Is it one of their biggest games, or is it just like, have they got to that point now where it's like, we just got to get this out the door? Get it out the door, get it out there, let people play it. Yeah, I know, it's not great, but
prepare. I'm scared, mate.
Batten down the hatches, let's just get the game out there and just see what they say.
Yeah, I find that its non-playability at E3, if that is the case, certainly I'm not coming across any hands-on deck previews from E3. I would say that they've kind of,
people would be playing it by now, right? If it was.
Oh yeah, people would go for it. They'd be in there. They'd be doing it.
In like
shit. I'm scared, mate.
Scared.
Hold me, mother, hold me now.
Well, I'll hold you in between this break.
We're having another break.
Yeah, we're having another break.
Didn't we just have a break?
Come here, I'll hold you.
Hold me now.
Question time. Do. That was the jingle that we did last week. You said you was going to make a jingle for us, and you never did.
I've not even done one for the new. I can't say what the section is, can I?
Yeah, because we're not doing it this episode.
No. I suppose next episode would be more like normal service resumes after.
Yeah.
I suppose it's fitting. E3.
Yes.
3 episodes of the podcast. I like that. It has a nice continuity about it, doesn't it?
Yes, and it means we don't have to think about what we do. Yes. Anyways, listeners' questions. And the first one is from Rob Conker, who says, I just wish Crash Team Racing was included with the Crash remasters. CTR was better than any Mario Kart. So it's not a question, so to speak, but he's linked it in there with a hashtag, so we must acknowledge it.
It was a very good game. I remember. Was that on the PS1?
Yeah.
That was PS1, I think, wasn't it, mate? There was another game out around the same time. You know, when everything was a kart game.
Yeah.
Like how everything now is a fucking emotional drama.
Oh yeah.
Back then everything was a stupid kart game.
Yeah.
So that's how we've grown up.
I remember playing a kart game on Mega Drive, and it had like one of the cars was like built like like a biplane.
Yes. No.
And it used to.
I just said yes because I've just looked up the one I was trying to look up.
The music
Speed
in
Freaks.
It,
I'm looking at. Had music in it.
Had music in it that was like. I know it is. I know when they played it on this game. Right, I'm gonna have to find that. You need to find that out. Type in kart racing game. I need you to do that now.
Well, if you just type in kart racing game Mega Drive, if it was on the Mega Drive.
Oh, what will it reveal? Have you got it?
Well, the one I was thinking of was called Speed Freaks. That was another really good kart racing game from the PS1 era.
Hang on, wait. Let's do it.
That was great fun.
Kart racing.
Was it called Street Racer?
Oh, it might be. Yeah, it might be. Street Racer.
Street Racer.
Street Racer. Yeah. Hang on. Sorry about this.
This is fucking clown store.
Hang on. Was it called Street Racer? Street Racer Mega Drive. We should have had this for that new section that we're. Oh, hang on. Yeah, it was. It was. It was like a. Oh man, look at the cover. Look at the front cover. Look at the front cover. It was awful.
Well, there you go. There's the thing you can do for the
by Ubisoft. There's a man. There's like a maniac with a skinhead with braces and a baseball bat, and then there's like an Eddie Honda.
Was this the one with all the kind of race stereotypes?
Yeah.
Was there like a guy like a tribal dude with a bone through his nose and everything?
I think you might be right there.
We were living in those sort of times where that was cool, where that was fine. I do remember there was a kart racing advert. I can't remember what the game was, and it had all of those, all the usual suspects, like old Johnny English and all that. Andy
Smith of Amiga Format said. He also called the music dreadful and the sound effects were crap before awarding it with 45%. So yeah, maybe I remembered it was PlayStation it was on actually, but yeah, maybe I remembered it too fondly. Anyway, how did we get onto this? Oh, it's kart racing.
Because he's talking about Crash Team. Yeah, Crash Team Racing was a good game. That would have been good if that was included as part of the reboot. I don't really understand where all this.
I don't either.
I like Crash Bandicoot, but it's.
Do you? Crash is a shitheel.
Oh, on PS1, I used to like Crash Bandicoot. The first one.
Not into it.
Second one, couldn't really be bothered with. Played the first one a lot, but I don't really know where all the interest from it's come from, unless it's just all come from Uncharted putting Crash in the game.
Yeah, possibly. Oh no, Sony got the license back, didn't they? It used to be with Vivendi, I think.
That's right. Yeah, that's right.
But they got it back. Ross Bell asks.
Ding, ding.
Oh well, he says, who won E3? I must know.
I won.
I won
because I didn't stay up. I watched it all the next day. I watched it on YouTube's on my big telly at home.
I think it was pretty even. Like I don't think anyone. I don't really like the who won and who didn't win anyway. But
Hideo Kojima won by walking down those stairs of light.
Walking down the stairs of light. Yeah, I don't know. Basically, I think it was just like I think both systems or both companies were not even including Nintendo anymore. Both companies had some good games and some good announcements. So I think it was pretty solid from both of them. I'm going to call it a draw.
I'm not. I'm going to say I was from my angle. PlayStation was much better.
There you go then. There you go.
Hang on, that's good. Oh yeah, Nintendo. Shit, we didn't even talk about Nintendo, did we?
No. Let's move on.
Do we?
No.
We're not going to either.
No. Maybe at the end of this section. I also the social media monkey asked what people's thoughts were on E3 and what the best part. Is he there? I can just see his legs. Yeah, I asked people what they thought was the best parts and the worst parts from E3 as well. And Jurassic Farts.
Clever girl.
He agreed with me. He agreed with me and said that Steep looked amazing. Just sticking about on the mountains. Also, it was good to have The Last Guardian's release date.
Yes, baby.
He goes on. He's still going. Oh, he's got a question as well after this one. Says, Watch Dogs looked like Infamous with technology instead of superpowers. They'll struggle to make people care. Like what you said.
I don't care.
Yeah.
I literally couldn't care. I see a game that not many people seem to be caring about, Mirror's Edge. I didn't even realise there was a new Mirror's Edge out until I was on the PlayStation Store and it was like, oh, there's a Mirror's Edge coming out. Oh, what? I can buy it now. It's out.
Yeah, it seems to have been just pushed out the door, that.
No one seems to be talking about it. I'm not. Yeah. I am now, but hang on a minute. 10 minutes ago I wasn't talking about it.
Exactly. But now you are. So what was the other thing he says? It's quite an interesting point that he's just made there about the Watch Dogs looking like Infamous. It definitely does look like Infamous, and I've got mixed feelings about Infamous.
I tried Infamous First Light.
Yeah.
Didn't like it.
Yeah.
I didn't like it. I played it for like an hour and it's like, you know what? It's not for me. See you later.
Too dim for you.
Too dim. I don't know what that means.
First Light.
not clever enough, not enough emotional drama. I needed more like sort of
you needed
parental.
You needed like a child sort of superhero to run around with. Anyway, clever Jurassic Fart says his question: do you think the release date for the Xbox Scorpio will damage current sales of the Xbox One? I absolutely do. I do. I think it was a massively bold. Oh, Cundy's gone mad again. I think it was hugely ambitious to announce it. I'm sure it could go one or two ways. It could pay off to get people excited about Microsoft and Xbox again, but at the same time, it's going to stop people from buying the units because it's like, well, what's the point when you've got a brand new machine coming out next year? So I think it will have some sort of knock-on effect, but I don't know. Maybe I'm giving people too much credit. Maybe people just go, it's a new thing. I'm getting it. I'm getting the Xbox One S, and I'm going to buy the new machine as well.
Yeah, I don't know.
No. I don't. Let's move on from this because I don't want you.
Well, people are
mad.
People aren't. It's going to make people not. If they might have been watching that conference thinking, I'm going to get an Xbox One S, and then at the end going, oh, well, I could. How much is the Xbox One S going to be? Something $200.
$299.
$299.
Yeah.
So it's not, and then holding out
180 quid
to get 18 months out of that before splashing out $500-$600 on something new.
Yeah.
I don't know, mate. I don't know how people think. I've never been an early adopter of consoles.
Good.
I've never been a day one.
Thanks for your input. Brilliant.
Yes, it's all right, mate. No worries, anytime. Concise.
Ross Bell pops up again to say the after E3 farmers market is off the chain this year. Alundra Wellman says Spider-Man looked good. We'll probably play the new Skyrim upgrade. Zelda looks great and it has awesome fields. I didn't see much.
Spider-Man. I've done that song.
Did you see Zelda? You didn't do that song.
No,
you did the scatting one, yeah.
Jazz Spider Web Hands version.
Jazz Fusion.
Zelda. Yeah, I'm scared of Zelda now. I just look at it. There's just so much stuff, so much game there, and I'm just like, when am I? First of all, I need to go out and buy either a Wii U or an NX.
Yeah.
So that's one barrier in the way.
Yeah.
I do love Zelda, but I don't know if. I'm not sure. I don't know if it's gone like massive RPG world, and it looks incredible. It does look gorge, but I don't know if I'm going to have the time to put into it. To be honest,
forget it. Don't bother.
I mean, fair play to Wellman there because he says he's going to play Skyrim. I mean, that's not a 10-minute game, is it?
No, neither is Zelda.
And you need to. That's like a full-time. That's commitment.
Although, is it Skyrim that you can complete? Like, there's a hack where you can complete it within like 5-10 minutes if you go to a certain place. Or was that Oblivion? Might have been Oblivion.
Was
They're
like
all the same game.
Yeah, probably. Yeah, I mean, if you stick to the story stuff, it's a lot quicker to rattle through. But no one sticks to why would you buy a game like that and then just get through for the story? You wouldn't.
True. Flavor Dave says, have you guys played the Resident Evil 7 demo yet?
Confirmed. I have, yes.
And if yes, have you shat your pants too? If no, then neither did I. But he's put 3 happy smiling poops onto it as well, which suggests that he might have pooed himself.
Yeah, it definitely had a creepy scare factor to it for sure. I've read some people saying, "No, it's all tired tropes and stuff." It's like sometimes tropes are used because
tropes
they
are
kind
ropes. Money for old tropes.
Well, tropes are tropes because they work. So it's that thing, isn't it? You know what I'm saying? They work.
Not really.
They work. It was tense.
Right.
It was tense, and I was tense exploring the farmhouse for the first time.
Right. Okay. We talked about that earlier on anyway, so I think you've covered that. That nerd can cook.
Oh.
New name, Kim.
Hello.
Says the highs with the fractured butthole, the South Park game. I completely forgot to talk about it. I thought that was brilliant. My favourite trailer of all of them, because it was just South Park basically. Says she loved the fake out intro and the game looks ace, and we happy few. So
this is you. This is
me.
Game
This is me. I've written it. I've tried to boost the numbers for Twitter, and it's funny that they're both the same games. So,
what was it? We Happy Few, and what was the other one?
The Fractured Butthole.
Fractured. Okay, those two. She liked those two. Right.
Interestingly, as well, she says that the low point was VR, which would have been one of my low points as well. So
that's weird. I didn't think they.
Scabbard.
One of my low points to do with VR was when they rolled out old John McCarmack for the Minecraft demo, which is one of the most cringy things at the Microsoft. They've definitely moved away from doing so much cringy stuff at the conferences now.
Yeah.
So there's not so much scripted playthroughs of things, but they did insist on it for Minecraft, and it was pretty cringy. And they rolled out John Carmack. He suddenly appeared sitting up high, like in a balcony or something, with
descending.
With an Oculus on,
right,
and just like looking around in Minecraft and saying all these horrible scripted things like that dragon looks awesome.
Oh my word!
Yeah, but
so
that's the thing that's happening. I thought, like I say, my one VR thing was that whatever it was, space exploration.
While we're talking about VR, Tom Lord says, does VR have a better chance of succeeding now with Call of Duty and Resi supporting it?
Well, maybe more. Those kind of go-to game titles will probably get people more interested than perhaps some of the more out there things.
I think the mainstream games will make or break it, because if they're not sort of providing the sort of inroad to VR through means that people are familiar with, then there's no way that other people will pick up like new games that contain virtual reality or that have been specifically made for VR. I think people will get a bit scared. They need to try it first with something that they know and trust, and then they'll go, I quite like my games in VR, I'm going to try this other one.
I'm not going to spend $400 on a VR headset though, that's for sure. I'll tell you that now, Daddy.
No.
That's not happening.
Don't have to tell your daddy that, but yeah.
So, Andrew House, I'm saying it now, mate.
Tell him.
No.
Tell him.
I thought he looked a bit hungover, old Andrew House. He had a bit of the sweats on his face, I thought.
Oh, is that who presented, was it?
He did some of the bits, not all of it. He wasn't the main Sony man. There was another guy who, I can't remember his name, Bob Smidley Bob.
Bob Smidley Bob.
Bob Smidley Bob.
That's it for questions this week. Actually, do you want to talk about Nintendo while we're at the end of this? No.
Yeah. I mean, I think I just covered most of it.
Right. Good.
In the Zelda scares me.
Yeah.
It looks like it's become more like a more RPG like than it ever has. Like taking the elements of other RPGs. I'm not sure how I feel about that. Yeah. I don't know. I just don't know anymore.
There you go. And there you go. Cundy's hot take on Nintendo and all that's happening with it. So we're going to close out the show in a bit of a different way this week. Springing this surprise on Cundy as we're live on air as well.
Matron.
So basically, on the not last podcast, the podcast before, which was the pre E3 special, the sort of 29-minute rambling version. What we did was we shouted out names of games and we said what the E3 trailer would possibly contain, which was just a little throwaway thing that we did. But I'm going to return back to it, and I've made a note of all the things that we said were going to happen in the trailers, and I'm going to see how close we were to the
very close.
To the well, we'll see how close we are.
I'd imagine we're very close.
Yeah. So from what we said, like on the previous podcast, to what was actually revealed, let's go through it now. So we had the first one that we had was Mafia 3, the trailer that they would show for Mafia 3. So, Cundy, you said there would be more swamp, there would be a dude in voodoo makeup,
New Orleans,
and more of the same. I said there would be an airboat and
Like Gentle Ben, that's right, yeah.
and more bayou.
Being done by the bayou.
So I think the only one that actually came out of that was more of the same.
Was there no dude? What's going on here, mate?
What's up?
Yeah, something's happened on my computer.
Uh-oh.
It's all right. I won't press anything. I think it's just the batteries in my mouse have died, and
Whee!
and I can't. I'm thinking my computer's crashed, but it's not. So it was basically more the same. Was there more? That means there must have been more swamp.
No, there was no more swamp. No more swamp.
What?
No bayou. And the talk of the dude in the voodoo makeup, I sort of know there wasn't that, but there was that sort of voiceover narrator to it.
What, New Orleans?
Yeah.
Hey, I'm down in New Orleans. I'm gonna get me some gumbo.
Yeah, they didn't really do that sort of racist stereotype.
Come on, mate.
But you know, it was.
How they talk in New Orleans?
Mass Effect Andromeda was the second one. What? What? That's you what, mate? That was.
I saw that.
We didn't even talk about that.
It's
done.
I didn't.
Forget it. It's right. It's all right, mate. It's all right. So, what we said was, you said it would include space.
Right. Correct. Tick
Correct.
That box.
Get that ticked. Chromatic aberrations.
That was correct.
Yeah, and sci-fi
and
sci-fi lightning.
Definitely had sci-fi. Did it? I can't remember. Oh, I can remember watching it thinking, "Oh, it's going to be very different." This because they said it's going to be.
Yeah.
It's just the same.
Exactly the same. I said character creation that'll show like animal species.
Was that in there? Or not?
Nope. Classes, different classes for the character.
Right.
No. And we both said callbacks to the old games, but I don't think they did. There was no characters that were from the old games, so we sort of struck out there. But one thing I did say was it would show the new hero, which it did.
And it had space.
Yeah, and it had space. So we're spot on there.
We were at least 80% right there.
We're doing well. Yeah. Battlefield 1.
Wooden tanks.
Old tanks.
Stones.
No, old tanks with wooden wheels, you said. Yeah. So only half right. There was old tanks, but they didn't have wooden wheels.
How do you know?
Because I saw them up close.
You might have to craft them on a workbench before you go Battlefield or something.
Imagine that mini game.
To forge wheels for your shitty old World War One era tank.
Yeah. You also. Oh, you did say stone guns. There weren't any stone guns. Exclusively first on Xbox One. I think
it was.
I think it said that at the end of the trailer.
Yeah, it did, didn't it? There was some jiggery pokery going on with that.
And DLC first on Xbox One.
Oh.
So, was it you can play it first through EA Access? They didn't,
yes, that's it.
Yeah, but they didn't say whether or not that was going to be on PlayStation as well.
I'm pretty sure they just meant Xbox Expo.
Yeah.
I think Sony have got Call of Duty first on
DLC.
For things.
Yeah.
You can shoot spacemen first on PS4.
Yeah.
And on Xbox One you can drive a penny farthing with guns on it first on Xbox One.
And trench warfare?
Oh yeah, I said that.
Was there any though?
Yeah, definitely.
I don't think there was that much. I said destruction.
That's obvious, though,
yeah.
isn't it?
Well, you know.
Oh, I said the Eiffel Tower was going to fall down, didn't I?
You did, but that didn't happen.
I'm sure I saw that.
Yeah, playthrough. There'd be part of the playthrough would have mustard gas in it, and then flying a plane, like quick cut video, that would crash into a building, and then the building would fall down. Now it didn't have either of those, but what it did show was the airship falling down onto a city or onto a town, and it destroyed all the buildings that was there. Like the airship stays there while the multiplayer is like going on around it. Yeah. Which is quite cool.
Like a building collapsing in one of them other sorts of games where you run around on a map shooting stuff.
Yeah. So we was sort of close there with those things. Titanfall 2. All the Titans falling. That was one that you said, and I think you was right. I think they did all fall.
There was less falling. I think it's more story, more of the emotional journey. FIFA's got a story mode.
It has. Jose Mourinho was on stage with.
Was he?
Yeah. With what's he called? The dude from EA, Peter Moore, and Peter Moore's a massive Liverpool fan.
Right.
So he said oh, we've got 3 of the great managers in the game. We've got Arsene Wenger, one of the legends of the game. We've got who was the other guy that they said? Was he I don't think it was like Ronald Koeman, but it was someone like that. And then they said, oh, we got Jurgen Klopp as well, a legend of the game. And then as he was saying this, Jose Mourinho just sort of walks out.
Hey, ole.
Yeah.
Classic. But that went down well.
Yeah, I think the people in the crowd sort of knew who he was. Anyway,
they got some money, didn't they?
Titanfall 2, all the Titans falling.
Yeah.
Yeah. Grapple hooks, although you mentioned that in passing because you already knew about it.
Right.
And there would be an immediate demo.
Lies.
All lies, that. I said there'd be a big fight.
Yeah.
They would introduce a new Titan.
Yeah, they did that.
But it had a sword. Is that right?
Don't know.
And there'd be a brand new reveal glimpse. So I said that there would be a big new Titan that right at the end of it they'd show a little glimpse of, and then it'd be ooh, little teaser.
Still robot Willie or something.
Yeah.
And then the emotional connection between the pilot and robot.
To save the pilot. What is your purpose? To save the pilot. Moving on to Deus Ex, which they didn't actually show. I said it'll show Dubai. You said it'll show a building collapse. They didn't show anything. So
they probably heard our feedback and thought
exactly and thought
forget
forget about
those things.
And then the last one that we did was The Last Guardian, and we didn't say anything because we both went off track.
Did we not even? I would have said everything that was in it anyway. I can't remember what was in it.
We just got caught up with something else and just went off on one. So there we go. Well, pretty much like all of our podcasts, really.
Just petered out.
Tapered
off.
Peter Moored out.
Oh, it's the Cundy Nathan Show.
There we go then, the end of another podcast.
Wow.
Wow. Another big one. But there's been a lot from E3. And I'm sure the stories will just start to filter out as well with regards to E3, because as we know, the people that are on the show floor will have more of an opportunity to play the games and we'll be able to delve into them a bit deeper. So we'll start to find out new things about different games, and we'll find out new things about The Last Guardian as well. Like Cundy was saying, it's quite scary not seeing it. Anyone actually talking about it. So yeah, it'd be interesting. But next week, back to normal with the podcast. I know we said it for the past 2 weeks, but definitely next week back to normal. Yeah.
So we'll have it and we'll have a new section in there.
New section, maybe 2 new sections. Oh, who knows? We don't know. But anyway, we hope you've enjoyed this E3 special. You can follow us on @CundyNathan Show on Twitter and tell us what you think of the show and what you think about E3 as well. And we will be back again next week for another podcast. Go on, what are you going to say?
I was going to say if we've missed anything, because we're recording this Wednesday and we'll be posting it Friday, so someone might do a sneaky big reveal or something in the meantime, but hopefully they won't. If they do and make us look stupid, then it
fuck
probably
those
wasn't.
Guys.
Exactly. So just ignore it.
Exactly. Just pretend it didn't happen until the following week. Yeah. Right then. So thanks for listening, and we'll speak to you again next week. Bye.
Goodbye.
Hello, lovely listener. It's Cundy here. Are you enjoying your weekly dollop of tangential gaming gas bagging and mouthpiece merrymaking? If you are being entertained by our humble little podcast, please consider becoming a patron and pledging some money to show your support. To make a pledge, simply go to cundyandnathan.podbean.com patreon.com and hit the big green Become a Patron button. It's that simple. Thank you in advance for being so wonderful.
Give us $1 or maybe 10, and in return we'll be your friend and maybe make the podcast better.
Oh, it's the Cundy and Nathan Show.